I would like to correct you, even though I lost audio for a second. That was not an interview. That was an assist, my friend.
Assist, yes.
That was an assist.
A bounce pass right underneath the basket for the layup with
exactly
with Joe Biden. I mean, you know, this I think is offensive to a lot of Americans right now when we're suffering from inflation, baby formula shortages, all these issues, and the guy you're going to sit down with is a hyper-partisan liberal late-night host like Jimmy Kimmel. Come on, you got to have more respect for the American people than that, but Joe Biden clearly does not.
Not only hyper-partisan, my friend, he's also a blackface guy, several times in blackface, but, you know, who am I to judge? But, you know, the worst part of that interview wasn't just the lying and the obfuscating of truth and pretending the economy's good and, you know, making fun of Fox and all of that stuff, sort of the low-hanging fruit stuff. The simple fact is the guy cannot complete a sentence. There were probably 4 to maybe 6 times during that quote-unquote interview where he lost his train of thought in the middle of the sentence, could not get to the end of the sentence, and Jimmy Kimmel literally picked up the end of the sentence to bring him home. He was even trying to explain how the administration's messaging has been muddled, and he muddled that very sentence. At one point, they went to commercial to break it up because it was so bad. And keep this in mind too, John, we're doing this live right now. So when we had our little audio problem right there, it's a live show, right? Nothing got edited. People saw it as it is. It usually works out pretty well. Today we had a little technical thing for the record. I think that was on our side, so don't fire anybody over there. No. I know you're a tough boss. But they don't do this. No, you're okay. You're the best. But they do this pre-taped. So it's a live studio audience, but that was not live on camera, meaning that it's going through the wires live. So that was what they edited, and that's how bad it came out. So just imagine what they cut. Just imagine what they cut.
Yeah, we'll have to ask some of the members of the live studio audience there. Hopefully we'll find out. But I bet you're right. There was probably a lot that they had to cut. I also want to talk about an event you did recently with Governor DeSantis down in Florida. This was days after the school shooting in Uvalde. We saw Beto O'Rourke disrupt a press conference out there with Texas Governor Greg Abbott. And it looked like there was a kind of a Beto wannabe that showed up to your speech there with Governor DeSantis. Let's take a look.
DeSantis, we're losing 100 people a day due to gun violence.
I think that you're going to have
Governor, we need you to take action on gun violence.
Nobody wants to hear from you.
We need to take action. Floridians are dying. Floridians are dying. Governor, Floridians are dying. We need help. Governor DeSantis, we need help. We need action on gun violence. Governor, please, we need your help. We're dying. Kids are dying. Governor, we need your help. Governor, we need your help, Governor. Kids are dying.
What was that like for you? I mean, this guy's running for office in Florida just like Beto's running for governor. This guy's running for some other state house position, I believe. But what was your reaction to that?
Well, I like that you're referring to him as this guy and not saying his name because it's irrelevant what his name is. He's a grandstander. There are not 100 people dying of gun violence in Florida every day. That would be 365,000 people a year. That's completely insane. The show, I interviewed the governor for about 45 minutes. We actually didn't discuss guns. It was not on the agenda of things I wanted to discuss. He has a new fatherhood bill out that we talked about. We talked about the so-called Don't Say Gay bill. We talked about, how he fought lockdowns, the things that I thought were relevant. So these protesters, if you heard what I said in the background through the melee there, I said, hey, guy, you can protest across the street like everybody else because I believe, of course, in peaceful protest. You can't interrupt a private event to just grandstand the way that Beto does and then this clown did. And by the way, they sent about 5 or 6 of these protesters in. So every 5 minutes during the show, this would happen because these people are very well coordinated. They're funded. One of the people who was there that helped coordinate all this was a Florida state representative. So these people know exactly what they're doing, but they're not making any headway. And I think DeSantis is going to absolutely crush it in his reelection. And, you know how I feel about this great state of Florida. So you just roll with the punches. It was a great event. It was a total blast. And people can watch it at youtube.com/Rubin Report.
So I want to actually focus a little bit on what you talked to Governor DeSantis about with this fatherhood bill. And by the way, folks know you're going to be a father coming up here pretty soon. Let's take a listen to that.
The fatherhood is interesting because if you look at all the different problems society could deal with, a huge number of them are rooted in kids growing up without having a father in the home. And
This is something Democrats also don't want to talk about. It falls in line with the mental health aspect, but Governor DeSantis is actually doing something about it in his state.
He absolutely is. And by the way, we all know it to be true, right? It doesn't mean that you can't be a single parent and do an incredible job. There are literally thousands, if not millions of people that do. And people are single parents for all sorts of reasons. But we all fundamentally know that the best structure that anyone can grow up in is a safe home, however you want to define safe, with two parents that are hopefully going to teach you the right things to go ahead. We've watched the nuclear family be destroyed. We know that the welfare state has done a tremendous amount to aid and abet in that, really starting in the early 70s. I mean, read any Thomas Sowell book on this, what the welfare state did to the black family, thus causing so many of these other problems. And you're right to also link this then to the mental health issues, which really are what gun violence is about, because since we were just talking about that too, it's like the average person, if you had an AR-15 in front of you, you would not go in and shoot a bunch of young children or teachers or anything else, unless you were in a certain mental state. And John, I don't know if you covered the clip, but last week when Joy Reid on MSNBC, she opened her show by saying that the shooter in Uvalde, whose name I refuse to say, said that he had no mental health problems. I mean, she has a mental health problem. That's what we're up against right now.
Yeah, we decided to kind of try to avoid the Joy Reid sound bites for a little while. I think we're giving some too much stress to the audience. Dave, great to see you as always, and we'll see you soon.
Good to see you, my friend. We'll do it with full audio next time. What do you say?
Yes, full audio. We got it back, and nobody's going to get in trouble. It's all fine. We're moving on. Stay